Hey guys, this is Lisa Simone Richards of lisasimonerichards.com, and I am a PR and visibility strategist for health, fitness, and wellness entrepreneurs. And I am so excited to be coming live with you today on Facebook. And for the first time, I'm actually going to be interviewing a guest. So I'm going to wait for people to start logging on, and hello to everyone who's going to be tuning into the replay as well. So a few weeks ago, if you're on my email list, you might recall that I sent an email just asking, what is the biggest problem in your business that I can help you solve right now? So I've been taking all the answers you guys have sent me, and I'm starting to create content so I can actually answer those questions for you. So something that I got asked is, how can I get people to come to my website, which is what inspired me to do this video interview today. So let me tell you a little bit about our guest before I welcome her on. And I'm seeing that people are starting to log in, so feel free to jump into the chat and say hi. We'd love to give you a shout out. And we're also going to be doing a live Q&A at the end, so make sure you interact with us during this Facebook Live. So a little bit about my guest. After 5 years as a health coach, Amy Lipman merged her marketing brief, with her passion for wellness by launching her company, Marketing for Health Coaches, where she's helped thousands of health coaches and nutritionists successfully get clients, launch online programs, create high-converting websites, and grow their lists. So today, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking to Amy about how to get people to come to our websites. So welcome, Amy. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to have this conversation today.
Yeah, and it couldn't come up at a better time, because just as I was thinking about this to myself, you had sent an email out all about, building a website and getting people to come to it. And I was like, well, obviously Amy is a person I need to talk with today. So thanks for giving up, about 20 minutes of your time to join the Get Seen, Get Clients, Get Paid community and share your insider tips with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I had a great time chatting with you when I did the Audience Attraction Formula Summit. That's why I want to bring you back. And kind of just like that, I love just diving right into the meat of the content, because I know we only have 20 minutes today. Your time is valuable, so is our guest. So I'm going to just jump into the first question. So while we're in the process of developing our websites, the first thing I'd love to know are, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you're seeing on homepages?
So yeah, this is a great question. And your homepage is obviously really important because it is the main page that most people will start on. Not always, but most people. And a lot of the mistakes come from people not knowing, and it's totally understandable. But coaches, when they create their websites, they don't actually think about or know what they want people to do when they come to their homepage. And so there isn't like a very clear path. So some of the mistakes that I see are sliders, which is where you've got images rotating on your homepage. That's become very popular. It seems like it's like kind of like an in thing to do, but it's distracting, and you're not able to keep whatever message you want front and center. You're not able to keep it front and center because you've got things rotating. Columns, where you've got, text here and text here, or text and an image and more text. We want no columns on almost all of your pages of your website, actually. It makes it much easier for the eye to read and stay organized. You want to just think top to bottom. Too much text is another big one. When people land on your homepage, they don't have a large attention span. They're not yet committed, right? So you want to just have as little text as possible that is going to engage them and get them to take that next step. The other really big one is that often there's either no call to action, and I'll kind of explain what I mean by that, or the call to action isn't prominent. And what I mean by prominent is either you have to scroll down the page to see it, or it's not large enough. You don't use bright colors, that kind of thing. So going back to call to action, just so everyone knows, call to action is we're asking people to take a particular action. And typically there's two call to actions for you to choose from as your most prominent for health coaches and fitness coaches and wellness entrepreneurs. Mostly it's either one, you're offering them some type of freebie and asking for their name and email in exchange for that. Or you're inviting them to schedule a free or low cost consultation with you that then leads to you inviting them into some type of probably one-on-one coaching program or possibly a group coaching program. So
Okay.
that's a little bit about, yeah, some of the big mistakes I see on homepages.
So that's a really good point that you make with regards to having a call to action, because I think to us, not maybe because we're so ingrained in our own businesses, it just seems so obvious to us that, well, obviously the next step is to, contact me and book a call, but we need to make it as easy and simple on our potential clients as possible and let them know this is the next thing that you need to do, no matter how obvious it seems to you. Is that right?
Absolutely. And it also sends the message of like, I want you to I want you to schedule a time with me. I want you to get this freebie. It's making that invitation really prominent.
And you also kind of called me out because on my old, not my old, but my agency website, I still have those sliders there because, I think when I made that site about 4 years ago, the cool thing was to have the rotating images. So just a little personal reminder that I've got some work to do as well with that. Okay, so now we know what the mistakes we need to avoid are. Tell me a little bit about, we started talking about getting our ideal client to start taking a specific action. Mm-hmm. So how can coaches use their websites to get people to take action? So whether that is to sign up for some sort of opt-in freebie or to schedule that call with us, just like you were starting to mention in your last response.
Yeah, so two main ways, and I like to see people do this throughout their website, but two main ways. One is we talked about the homepage. So just to kind of be clear about this. So at the top of your homepage is what should be what's called a hero image. So typically the way most websites are set up is you've got your navigation at the top with the different pages people can click to. And then below that, there's sort of like what I call the main real estate. And we call that a hero image. You could also call it a banner. And you want to use that real estate that's above the fold, right? Meaning people don't have to scroll down to see it, to make that invitation either to get on your list. You're not going to say get on my list. You're going to actually offer them some type of freebie, or and you want like a brightly to action button that either says, schedule or download now, whatever it is you're inviting them to do, whatever that first step is. And then that will lead them to that next step. So that's the first way. And the second way is using something I call a Start Here page. And a Start Here page I love because if you see Start Here in someone's navigation, you've got home, Start Here, some other pages, it's really obvious, like, oh, I could break the rules, right? I don't have to click on Start Here, but it's very compelling. Oh, this is where I should start. I'm going to start here. And when people go to that page, that's where you want to lead them to the first step that you want them to take. So for some coaches, for most of the coaches I end up speaking with, they'll use that Start Here page to lead people into that free or low cost initial consultation. Some coaches will use it to promote, maybe they really don't want one-on-one clients. It could be they're working a full-time job, or they want their business more based on group programs. They might use that. We have a client, Victoria Gravini, who uses her Start Here page to promote an online, like an evergreen online program, weight loss program that she sells. You could use it for a cleanse or a detox or some type of online challenge, clean eating challenge, fitness challenge, that kind of thing. So you either want to use that Start Here page to lead into like a low cost intro program that you offer, or you want to use it to lead people into that initial consultation. And for most coaches that I end up working with, and I don't know if the same might be for you, Lisa, it's what people are most wanting are those one-on-one coaching clients, because they want people in their group programs, but the one-on-one coaching clients bring in more revenue. more quickly.
Yeah.
So using that page to basically connect with the audience, tell them that you can help, tell them a little bit about what makes you unique, what you specialize in, then invite them into that initial consultation, tell them what they're going to get out of it, and then have a button that they can click on where they can, and this is the important part, and you want to do this from your homepage too if you're promoting it on your homepage, is have that button go directly to an online calendar where they can schedule. And there's so many free and low cost online scheduling systems out there. We've used Time Trade, which is about $50 a month. I think they have a free trial also. But sending people to that online calendar makes a huge difference because people are just much more likely to schedule if they can just go online and they don't have to bother with emailing back and forth or calling you, and it just saves you a lot of headaches as well. I know I love it personally when I can go into the online calendar. The woman I go to who does my eyebrows, just today I was like, oh, I need to schedule that. And I can just go online. And the woman I went to previously, I had to call her. She had to call me back. It was this whole routine. So yeah.
That's a really awesome tip. So a few takeaways that I'm really getting from that are I just embraced the Start Here button on my new website this year, and I'd never actually thought of using it for anything other than a homepage. And that is such a simple tweak to be able to point it towards something else a little more specific rather than just your plain URL. So that's a really cool tip. And the idea of making it really easy for people to get in touch with you is awesome, and linking directly to a calendar. So I know you mentioned that you use Time Trade. I use one called Calendly. So if you're looking for a free tool, guys, that's the one that I'm using these days. So those are two really awesome tips. I love everything we're talking about because not only are we answering everyone else's questions, but I selfishly get some really cool tips for myself as well. So I'm seeing a few more people logging on. So I just wanted to say hi and welcome you to our chat. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Simone Richards from lisasimonerichards.com, and I am a PR and visibility strategist for health, fitness, and wellness entrepreneurs. And today I'm talking with my guest, Amy Lipman from Marketing for Health Coaches, and we are talking about how to get people to come onto your website. So just as a quick recap, if you're just logging on now, you're going to want to go back to the beginning because we started this interview by talking about some of the biggest mistakes that Amy sees on people's homepages. And then we just finished talking about how we can get our websites to have potential clients take a very specific action that we want them to take. So going back into the questions, Amy, I would love to know what pages should coaches always have on their website?
Okay, yeah. So there are a few that I think should always be there. And then you can vary from that. So you want to have a homepage, obviously. Start Here page, which we just talked about. So if you missed that piece, go back and watch the previous question. An About page. Then a contact page. Those would be like the ones you definitely want to have. Work with me is an optional page a lot of people like to have, where you're giving a brief overview of the different ways that people can work with you and then leading them typically into an initial consultation. Success stories. If you have, when we're starting out, we have no success stories. I had someone email me just the other day about this. So what do? I said, none of us start with success stories, right? So nothing's wrong with you if you don't yet have success stories. But once you start working with clients, you're going to gather those and reach out to clients and ask for them. So if you haven't yet finished working with clients, the point where you have success stories, you'll leave that off. But once you have 3 to 5, that's when you want to add that page. And then the last page I'll mention is a blog page. And a blog is actually it becomes more than a page, right? Because you've got each of your blog posts is a page. And I say that, I think that blogs are important, but it's optional at the beginning. At the beginning, I don't think you need to get overwhelmed by having a blog that you have to update every week or every other week. And if you're not going to update your blog, you're not ready to commit to updating it, I'd say at least every other week. then it's better to not have one and wait until you're ready to take that plunge.
Okay, yeah, definitely feeling it feels a little intimidated to constantly have to be putting new content up on there. But yeah, another really good point. I know it's good for SEO, it's good for SEM. So having a blog also, I help people get featured on the news and TV, websites, magazines, etc. So being able to have that blog as a reference point, showcasing your own expertise and credibility is always really useful to have as well. So even if you're not necessarily using it as a tool to communicate with your community, at least have it as a way that people can reference your expertise, and you can have a clear opinion on things that you're talking about on your site. And
And the
something
same,
else. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to jump in and say, and the same thing happens with potential clients landing on your site is, like you said, there's lots of benefits to having a blog. One of them is when potential clients land on your site, if they're starting to explore and get to know you and they go to your blog, it gives them more of a sense of what your expertise is in. And, if you focus on, let's say, I often use this example. If you focus on fertility, and you have lots of different blog posts that relate to different fertility topics, and you're a woman who's struggling with your fertility, you land on the site, you're immediately going to see that coach as someone who can help you. You're in the right place, and it just immediately builds like that expert status.
And something else I got from what you said is it's interesting to see the transition in how website development has gone. Because back in the day, they used to be incredibly simple. And then we got caught up on having a navigation with sub-navigation, all these different options and a million things that someone could do. And now it's gone back to that simple routine where it's like, have these 5 main pages. And then, of course, your blogs are going to be individual. But now it's really more about being clear, being concise, and not overwhelming the people that you hope to enroll as clients into your business.
Absolutely. I'm actually glad you pointed that out, because that's something I really believe in, is you want to have as few pages as possible in your navigation. And that's a mistake that I see a lot, is too many choices and then lots of drop downs.
Yeah.
So I like to see no drop downs and very few choices, because you're taking people on a path.
Mm-hmm.
And the more pages, the more choices you give people, the more likely they are to get distracted from like the main key actions that we talked about in the beginning. You really want to keep people focused on that. And once someone's on your list, once someone talks to you on the phone, that's when you really have the opportunity to share more, share about how you work with people, how you can help them, email them, etc.
Okay, awesome. So Amy, we're getting close to our 20-minute timeline, but I wanted to, wrap up with the one big question that we're all dying to know. So we've hired a web designer, we've bought our Squarespace for our WordPress page, we've got our domain secured. Now we've promoted in our Facebook group, our friends and our family, God bless them, they like it, they check it out. But how do we get people who are actually potential clients to come and visit our website?
Yeah, so great question. So there's a lot of ways, but I want to give some of the main ones because we want to focus on the things that are going to get us the best results, right?
Always.
So if you have a blog, posting your blog posts on social media, on the social media outlets that you're active in, that's a very strong way to bring traffic to your site. And you can actually have, if you use something like Meet Edgar, which is a tool where there's lots of tools where you can plug in your social media. Meet Edgar is one where you can have rotating content, and it basically just over time kind of recycles. So posting not just like the posts from this week, but having all of your blog posts from all time, cycle through is a great way to drive traffic to your site. You're also going to get organic traffic from your blog posts, most likely. So you brought up, we were talking about whether or not to have a blog. One of the benefits is search engine optimization. So I know sometimes this can feel a little overwhelming, but just to keep it real simple, and I'll go back to my fertility example. If you are a fertility specialist and you have a blog post that's like the top 3 foods to eat for fertility, and someone is Googling what to eat for fertility and your blog post comes up, they're going to be really interested.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is where having a niche, being really focused on who you're serving, making sure your blog posts are really targeted to who you're serving, all those things really go hand in hand. Being interviewed on podcasts, and these next two suggestions relate directly to what you help people with. So getting interviews on podcasts is that reach your ideal clients is great, because pretty much any podcast you're interviewed on should be linking to your website or linking to a landing page where you offer like a free gift that relates to what you're being interviewed about. And then similar to that, having guest blog posts. Getting invited or being accepted to publish a post on someone else's blog. Again, that post should always have a link back to your website or to a landing page where you offer a free gift. Those are my top strategies for driving traffic to your site. Of course, there are other things that you want to do, like you want to have business cards with your URL on them. You want to include your URL on the bottom of your email and the signature of your email, any materials you're giving out, things like that. But you won't see as much traffic from those things.
And two of the things that you pointed out last are my favorites and ones that I always tell my clients to do. Number one, get featured on guest blog posts. That's a great way to leverage somebody else's audience and provide value to a like-minded community that you know is already going to be interested in your stuff. And the second, I'm going to take this as an opportunity for a shameless plug. You mentioned getting featured on podcasts. And for those of you who have an interest of getting featured on podcasts, if you head over to my website at www.lisasimonrichards.com, when you click on free challenge, I actually have something called the Pitch to Podcast Challenge, which is a 5-day challenge that takes you through finding the right podcast to pitch, how to connect with the host, how to pitch a topic. I even give you templates on writing that pitch and the follow-up. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's a free resource on my site. Feel free to go ahead and check it out. And Amy, to bring it back to you, I know that you're working on something that's going to help people out with creating amazing websites that get their clients. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been building websites for health and wellness entrepreneurs for the last 5+ years. And we right now have a summer special, goes through next Thursday, on our website package. And you can check that out at marketingforhealthcoaches.com/website package. And it's $500 off through next Thursday. So it's a pretty big discount. And we basically take all the technical pieces and design off of your hands and make it really easy for you to have a beautiful professional website ready. And we give you done for you website copy and lead you through the whole process. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I posted a link in the chat box so you guys can go click there and find out a little bit more about what Amy is working on. So for those of you who are just coming in towards the end of this broadcast, I'm talking today with Amy Littman from Marketing for Health Coaches, and we've been chatting about how to get people to come to your website. So we've covered some things like the biggest mistakes people make and how to get on there, how to have your website visitor take a desired action. So you're going to want to rewind to the beginning of this broadcast so you can get all of Amy's tips. And Amy, thank you again so much for giving us a few minutes today with all that valuable information. I know I personally have some edits to make to my own websites now after talking with you.
Oh, my pleasure, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah,
one of my favorite topics to talk about.
And I love that we're just both doing this for the first time together. So thank you for sharing this experience with me. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to check out that link for Amy's upcoming stuff and to start implementing these tips onto your own website. And if you're interested in getting into podcasts, checking out that free challenge on mysite.com. So leave your comments below. I'll be able to stay on top of them. If you guys have any questions, I can make sure I relay them to Amy. We can get a conversation going and get more clients to your website. So have a great afternoon, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you soon.
Bye.